Brad was a really fun guy, good athlete, a good student, and just, you know, we just hit it off.
Great student, a super athlete, which is why we're honoring him, and a really good friend.
Seeing Brad throw the javelin was very impressive, because when I came here, I didn't even know really who he was or what we had. But for a small, quiet guy, boy, he had an amazing arm and was a very explosive athlete.
I don't remember Brad losing, certainly not very many times. Maybe there were a couple of times. We had big meets where we went against some of the top athletes in Southern California from USC and UCLA, and I remember Brad winning most of those. He may have lost once to someone from UCLA, which would kind of be expected, you know, from Chapman College. But he didn't lose very often. He was very competitive, very consistent.
We had the opportunity of being a small school, but competing against guys that were the best in the world. And I know Brad, as his, you know, he just worked hard, trained hard, played hard. His main thing was he was very explosive.
Brad would go out there with a big chip on his shoulder, wanting to show those guys. I don't know if he ever really wanted a scholarship to UCLA, but he wanted everyone to know he could have gone there if he wanted to.
Brad was a wonderful guy. You know, I was coming in as an 18-year-old freshman, and Brad was just very welcoming, and he was certainly a quiet leader.
So I had a blue AMC Pacer, exactly like the one Garth drove in Wayne's World. In fact, maybe it was the same car, I don't know, but that was my car then. And one time I came home from class, and it was in the parking lot in front of the stadium, and all four wheels were off, and it was up on blocks. And I didn't know what happened, so I ran and got Brad, and he came out, and Brad was livid. Never seen him so upset. And he said, "We're gonna get the guys who did this. We're gonna find out if there's some surveillance footage around here, find out who did this." Turned out Brad did it. The tires were in the back of the car, and Brad was the only other one that had a key.
My belief in life is that the winners take the adversity and turn it into something good. And I believe Brad is that kind of guy. But, you know, not only as a friend, but as your coach, it's well deserved. I've known you a long time, and you have been an example, not only to me, but to others, in the way that you've lived and the things that you've done, man. Congratulations.
I'd like to say, Bradford, this is a long time coming, certainly well deserved. You were an amazing athlete.
Congratulations, Brad. I never would have thought I'd be here welcoming you into the Hall of Fame when you were my roommate. I thought maybe I might be coming by to bail you out of jail, but I'm glad that we're here welcoming you to the Hall of Fame instead, because really I don't have any bail money right now, so congratulations.
It is long overdue, but we are overjoyed to welcome our second track and field national champion into the Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Brad Breen into the Hall of Fame.
Wow, what do you say after that? And by the way, Miss Copeland does not have ESP. We did talk once before. It took like a month to get a hold of each other, but her theme was similar to what I experienced in my career here. Got 3 categories tonight. I got a thank you and recognition, time at Chapman, and then an inspiration and motivation time for some of our younger athletes. But first, we didn't have Dr. Streppa or Dr. Doty in the old days. This campus, night and day. So we're talking the 40 years theme. It was college, it wasn't university. And wow, the ceremony, first class, the whole college is amazing. So anyway, before I thank anybody, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for what they've done. I've worked with 2 of you guys closely, and I have a surprise for you. So if Doug Aiken and Steve Alveda would come up, 40-year-old gift. This is what mugs looked like 40 years ago. Pristine condition, and you guys earned it. Thank you.
Well taken care of. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
There you go. Thank you, Stephen.
Cheers.
How much can I get for it on eBay?
Trying to be positive tonight. I lost 2 family members the last couple of weeks, and so I've got to use a cheat sheet tonight because my head has not been around the ceremony. This is so positive and exciting, but it's been tough for me. Lost my mom last week and a nephew. It's been real tough. So bear with me using a cheat sheet, and we'll be good. So, although I was grateful and proud for all this, I did wish we could have some other people here to share it. Mom and Dad, Professor Weatherall, who we talked about, he was here 2 years ago. Ed Keswick, Joe Phillips, last inductee. I really wish he was here. He was a super guy, super athlete. Coach Rex Wrestler, we lost him 10 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that. But now that the thank yous, publicly, I would like to thank here, at my table over here, Bill Terrio. He's a world-renowned massage therapist, sports trainer. Bill, hand up. He's here. Bill told me about Chapman when I didn't know about Chapman. I came down to look at Viola, like Kathy said, and looked over here. Rex offered the scholarship, so we were good. Next one, Brad Long, who I will call Bruiser from here out. He was here 2 years ago. Great friend, and everything we did, we had to kick it up a couple notches. Most things were legal. Baxter keeping on him as well. But a lot of fun, taught me mental toughness, great friend, a lot of years, really appreciate it. So super. And then he coached us our last year when Rex didn't continue. Kevin Baxter at our table. Kevin worked at the Orange County Register. He jumped ship to the LA Times. I've just found we reconnect recently. And it's like, what, the Times? No way. But back in the day, he made sure we had tickets to Dodgers games, Angels games, and we always had press. We had luncheons, cool stuff. Yeah, we did do some pranks. We messed with him. But he was one of the original roommates at the stadium. We lived in that old rundown stadium you saw. So thank you, Kevin. Glenn Owen was also in the stadium with us, with Kevin. Glenn's not here, but do thank that. And also a shout out, you guys don't know about it, but Samson's Gym back in the old day. There was one Gold's Gym, and so they weren't franchised, but Samson's in Santa Ana, about 10 world champions down there. If you've seen the World's Strongest Man competition, Bill Kazmaier, he was the World's Strongest Man champ, 81, 82, I think 83. We watched him lift. Bruiser knew him personally. Guy was amazing. And there were 9 other powerlifting world champs in that gym. So if anybody has any connection to Samson's Gym, they were the best. So, my time at Chapman, second category. I love my 2 years here, surrounded by great people, but track was not popular. This is a baseball school, it was a softball school, and yeah, we weren't real popular, but it was a great time. Good people here. We were D2, as you talked about. It was D3 before, D2 we got here. So we got in some great track meets, super athletes, and the guys you saw on the film are all at the table. And I want to show those people right there. Eric Van Skyke is right there, discus thrower, 179.11, 57-foot shot putter. Bruiser finally threw about 195 in the open meets and the hammer, and yeah, they were super. And Joe Phillips, 2 years ago, 7.2.5 jumper. So wish he could be here. The guy was phenomenal, just possibly the best athlete the school's ever seen. But pretty personal. We didn't talk much to him, but yeah. So the old football stadium. When I came down here, Rex Wrestler said, hey, you want to live in the stadium? I was in the dorms, and it was too noisy. Freshman kids, I was 22. I said, get me out of there. He said, you want to live in the stadium? I go, what are you talking about? So we went over and looked, and I go, hey, good, I can build. And so built stuff. We built a door, and all the rooms. The shower was our locker room, all that stuff. It was very, very cool. And eventually, Kevin came, Glenn Owen came, and the next year all the runners came. And that's where the pranks started, and it got a little wild, and I was in charge. And anybody remembers Landon Zemansky, named Ski? He was our maintenance guy. Gosh, he loved us, he supported us, but I miss him. I wish he could be here as well. But two favorite stories I got to tell. I've been telling these stories for years. People look at us, they don't believe us, but finally, I'm hearing people in the audience that they know it's going to be true. And if not, ask one of these guys because they were probably there. First story, 79 Nationals. Baxter got a cheap shot, so this one's for you. Go back to Macomb, Illinois, and he was Orange County Registry. He was ready to call me when we get the results. We expected Joe to win the high jump. I was supposed to win the javelin. Bruiser was supposed to get All-American. Well, we got back. I warmed up at 2:55. 85 yards, not 85 meters. Close to your friend, Dr. Chapman. And best throw of life, 255 feet. Sat down, psyched them out. It was awesome. They couldn't believe it. Third flight, when I came to throw, thunder shower, unbelievable. It was so hard I couldn't hold my javelin. Didn't get a mark, so I was crushed. Called Kevin. He goes, "How'd you do?" We got no points. Joe Phillips got hurt, by the way, when he was high jumping. He was a Western roller. And so Kevin, he couldn't believe it. He started to write, well, he rewrote history that night. He wrote down, for the safety of others at the track meet, all the spectators, Brad Breen withdrew. And I thought, what the heck? And I got home, I said, what's that all about? I said, oh, that's right, you're a sports writer. You make stuff up. But then, it wasn't the worst part. Lincoln Avenue Baptist Church is where I attended back then. I go to church, and all of a sudden, one of the deacons stand up, he goes, we got a guy here in attendance, just a hero among us. We got to really... I looked around and go, no. And he said, this guy, he went on with a story. I went, oh, he read the paper. I said, oh, man, so what did I do? Do I lie to him? I said, no, I actually swore, and I was angry, and I run around, and I threatened people. But so I just hung my head and kind of went, thank you very much. So thanks for rewriting history on that one. Second story, I mean, these guys could all tell you these same kind of stories. Phenomenal athletes. Joe Phillips. I wish you could have watched him. Did anybody remember seeing Joe compete? Anybody here? We're talking 40 years, I'm sorry. All of our table, Doug, Jackson knows. 7'2.5" high jumper. And Kevin, you said I didn't lose much. I don't remember Joe ever losing. We would do D1 meets sometime, and he won them all. And he'd jump 6'8" with his sweats on, look around, and then most people were out by that time, and then he'd do his thing, 7 foot, 7'1", 7'2", never under 7 feet. But this one day, we're in the gym. He didn't like Rich Ryder. Rich wanted to play basketball. He had jump reach about here, very fast, and he'd always say, I don't play basketball. And one day, he sees Ryder over there. He goes to me, let's dunk some basketballs. What? Let's go dunk. You bet. So I came hauling in, 2 feet, 2 hands, boom, put it down, turned to Joe. He goes, is that all you got? I went, whoa, what do you mean? So Joe goes, took about 3 steps, tapped the backboard, cocked it sideways, and went, boom. I didn't say, is that all you got? I went, wow. He said, I got another one. Backs up, comes flying in, 360, cocks it, throws it down. Rich Ryder didn't like it at all. But that's the kind of athletes we had back then. And, lots and lots of talent. But that guy, possibly the best athlete you guys have ever had here. Background and motivation. This is probably redundant for part of it. Did 4 sports, 4 years high school, javelin, long jump, and other stuff. And like Kathy said, my journey wasn't linear. A lot of setbacks. You heard one of them. But I wanted to play baseball. I love baseball. Ironically, here's the baseball school. Rex Lessler wouldn't let me play. So I thought, well, I'll do that. That's fine. But got down here, and it wasn't an easy road. Lane Community College, like Kathy made allusion to, sprained an ankle. That set me back about 2 years. Recovered. Then we had the thunder shower back at Illinois. That was awful. But in the end, you got to put it together. And what Bruiser taught me down here was, it's mental toughness. You keep rising up, get to a certain level, and you will it. Not just to win. We went out to crush people. And most of the time we did. Sometimes we didn't. So 238 early in the season, got hurt, then came down, looked at schools, got the full scholarship, came here. Junior year, pretty consistent, 240. The Nationals, down. My road took a little detour. Senior year, not real consistent, but won most of the meets. But at the very end, finally put it together. Not real consistent, but finished strong. What I'd like to say in summary, it's a little inspiration. DeAndre, you got some kids back here. So this is mainly for your kids. If people in your life say you're too short, too small, too slow, whatever, you got to believe in yourself. Surround yourself by good people. Celebrate their successes. Yeah, absolutely. So you guys, you're building your team up. Track went away for 30 years here, 25, 30. It's back. You guys are working hard, so kudos to you. You guys believe in yourself. Now, if you guys aren't motivated by tonight, all these little speeches, not so much mine, maybe some other ones, go home and watch the Secretariat movie. Possibly the best motivation ever. A horse that was too big, heart was 25% too large, wasn't supposed to go that far, but not only beat that horse, the Belmont Stakes, 31 lengths, and that will fire you up. If that doesn't do it, go watch the Pat Tillman story. That guy was awesome. He'll fire you up. Guys, hey, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.